World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. Israeli forces moved to the Wadi al-Raqad area in the Yarmouk Basin in western Daraa in Syria on Wednesday evening. According to Al Jazeera, 8 Israeli military vehicles advanced toward the Wadi al-Raqad bridge and deployed across the area. The operation comes days after a similar incursion last Thursday into the nearby town of Jamla, where Israeli troops later withdrew. Syrian officials continue to call for a complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from their territory. They also maintain that all Israeli actions in southern Syria are invalid under international law. The situation adds to ongoing tensions along the region's southern frontier. In other news overseas, Israel carried out an airstrike in Beirut on Wednesday evening, targeting a senior commander from Hezbollah's elite Radwan force, the first such strike in the Lebanese capital since a U.S.-brokered ceasefire took effect. CNN reports Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed the operation, saying the targeted commander was linked to attacks on Israeli communities and troops. An Israeli source said the strike was coordinated in advance with the United States, though officials have not confirmed whether the intended target was killed. Reports indicate that a deputy Radwan commander may have also been wounded in the attack. Until now, Israel had limited its operations to southern Lebanon, citing provisions under the ceasefire agreement. The strike comes as the Trump administration pushes for a possible meeting between Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, who has insisted that Israel must halt its attacks before any talks can proceed. And finally, oil markets briefly stabilized after United States President Donald Trump paused Project Freedom, a short-lived effort to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz, citing progress toward a possible agreement with Iran. According to BBC News, early optimism grew as reports suggested Washington and Tehran were nearing a one-page deal to end the tensions in the Gulf. Iranian officials confirmed they were reviewing a new proposal, while sources close to mediators said negotiations were close to completion. However, the outlook quickly shifted when U.S. President Trump warned that a deal was still uncertain and threatened renewed military action if talks failed. His remarks came shortly after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that recent U.S.-led strikes on Iran had concluded. Despite the tough rhetoric, President Trump later expressed cautious optimism but acknowledged that past negotiations with Iran had fallen through. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.